Okay, good morning, everyone. My name is Chuxin, and then I have another speaker, Yiwen, here. Today, we are going to give you a tutorial of build an MCP server. And if you are trying to connect on Wi-Fi, those are the information that you need. Okay, so
That's me. Hi, guys. Nice to meet you. My name is Yiwen. I worked for JP Morgan before. I just left 1 month ago. Right now, I'm exploring opportunities to work with a startup. Yeah, so mainly building agent-to-agent communication platform. Yeah.
okay,
I'm gonna cover like a later phase of the tutorial.
okay, yes. And then this is me. My name is Chuxin. I am a senior associate at JP Morgan. I work on quantitative modeling and AI applications. I am also the community lead at AI Camp and Women in Data Science at New York City. Personally, I like running and cycling, not in the Boston weather. I swear, this is not working out for me. I have a new hobby that is improv comedy. Okay, so Ewan and I used to work together sometimes, and then sometimes we'll stay in office for too long, and then we'll go to the restaurant together. And this was, I tried to find the photos of two of us together, and then this is the only photo that I find. I was
didn't pick that picture.
I picked this picture. So this is me. I was taking a photo of her. We went to a Chinese restaurant near the JP Morgan headquarters, and that was at the beginning of this year. Remember there was a time when DeepSeek came out and everyone blew their mind. And then we were like, okay, let's look at that paper. Let's look at what their reinforcement learning is actually doing. And funny thing is, DeepSeek is a fish, right? Oops, what happened? Oh. It's a whale. It's a whale, and we were eating fish that day. So that's a little history of two of us. Okay. So yeah. Okay. And now I still work at JP Morgan, and Ewan has embarked her journey on entrepreneurships. Yeah. Okay. So about this tutorial, let's do this. We'll give an overview of what MCP is, Model Context Protocol, and then we'll have a hands-on workshop where everyone bring out your laptop and we'll walk through how to build a server for reading your Gmails. Hopefully by the end of today, all of your emails will be handled by your agents. And then we'll do a demo, and if we have time, we can also show you some things on the client side and what you can do in the future. So let's dive in. Okay, so Model Context Protocol is something that we say it's a USB-C for all the AI applications. So what they actually do is that it creates an open standard that lets LLM talk to all of your tools or resources or prompts in a consistent, inspectable, and universal way. And the reason why we need MCP is because before MCP, all these LLM vendors, OpenAI, Claude, DeepSeek, or others, Gemini as well, they're creating their own plugin systems that teach you how to write a tool calling. And basically, these tools are not portable. If you switch LLMs, it creates a lot of frictions. So that is why MCP came along, and they tried to fix this by giving all the models a shared language. So we think of MCP as a protocol or convention that exposes all of your tools to your LLM. So anyone knows what tool calling is? Yeah. So tool calling, basically, they are functions that your LLM decides that now it's time to call these tools. For example, query a data set or run a mathematic functions, because LLM is not good at math. So if you ask a math question, then LLM should decide that it's time to call a math equation or a math function to do the math for you. So that's tools. MCP exposes your tools in a standard way to your LLM. And then there are resources, prompts, events, and inspectors. we'll cover this a little bit more later. So basically, MCP sits between your model or your AI application and all the resources and tools that you have. Okay, the architecture overview of MCP is very straightforward. You have 3 components. There is the client side, which is usually the LLM runtime, or your AI applications, or your LLM side. This calls your tools or emits the token that it needs to call a certain tool and uses the results to generate a response. And then you have the server side where it's the focus of the tutorial today. That is, we want to create servers that your LLM can use. So the server has the code that you write. It exposes everything that you need that is on top of your LLM. Okay, and then at the end, there is a transportation side. There's standard I/O or HTTP. This part, Yiwen is going to cover a little bit more later in the tutorial. Okay, I'm going to skip this for now. Okay, so let's go over these just before we get our hands dirty. So core tools are the core of MCPs. We can think of, we actually don't really need resources or prompts. We just need tools. And we can even think of everything as tool. And the way that people would say AI agent in a very fancy way, but at the end of the day, agents are just LLMs with tools, right? And whatever tools you can give the agents, the ability is bounded by the tools that it has. So examples of tools would be query a database. So sometimes if you create a SQL database and then you create a text-to-SQL system, then your tool is querying that structured data. Or if you have a graph database, then you create a text-to-cipher query, and that query query the graph for you, something like that. The example that we showed today is sending an email. So that could be one kind of tool. It could call a REST API, or it can format or transform data. Basically, anything that you can do can be structured in as a tool. Okay. And then there are other things that you can put into your server. I think are really useful. First thing will be a prompt, or think of it as templates, or however you want to think of prompt as something that is instructions to your LLM. So for example, in this tutorial, we're going to show you a prompt that is an email persona. So basically, it tells your agent how it should write emails for you. Okay. The reason why we want to have prompts in our server instead of directly writing into AI system is because you want it to be consistent across different clients. That is one reason why you want to put a prompt at the server side. And then I think that the best way to understand this is just to separate the prompt design and the runtime execution, so that you put your prompt in your server side, and then your client side is just the LLM. Okay. Resources, I touch a little bit upon on that. So basically, they are pieces of data, or I think of it as something that might be larger than your context window. And so it could be a huge chunk of structured or unstructured database. And then you expose these things to your LLM. It queries some part of it that you need, and then you can build a system on top of it. Okay. All right. Lastly, we will also showcase the inspector here. So MCP has a built-in web inspector that shows all the things that you have put into the server. Either it's a tool or prompts or all the other things. It allows you to inspect whether they're working as expected. We'll show how to do that. And the best thing about Inspector is it's a very intuitive user interface for you to debug your server, understand the model behavior, and then do a teaching or demo. Okay. So let's get started. So you need two things. The first thing is the GitHub repo, which is this one, and then an OpenAI API key if you don't have one. Okay, so go ahead and open the GitHub repo. Another way that you can find this link is on our page, that there is a GitHub link here. And once you open, it should look like this. Okay, I'm hoping everyone has a Gmail. Is there anyone who do not have a Gmail? Okay, that could be a problem. Can you create a Gmail right now? All right, so let's get started. How many of you don't have like a VS Code set up on your local computer? Okay. So it's totally fine. We can use code space, so that works too. It's totally up to you. If you don't have like a VS Code or some other things like Cursor on your local computer, we can totally use. I'm going to show you how to use code space, but you can totally follow along by downloading everything into your local computer and just use VS Code. It will look the same. So it's just different environment. All right, let's get started. So if you are trying, okay, so let's do code space. So click on this green thing, code. I believe you might need to log into your GitHub before you can use this. So there are many options. If you don't want to log into your GitHub, you can download it to your VS Code. If you want to use this, which is easier, just stay on this website, then you have to log in. Okay, and then once you log in, you click on this green button, code, and then you see code space, and then now you can add a code space. Or there should be a green button that says create a code space, and then we will be here. So this takes probably half a minute to populate. Yeah. Okay. And then once you are here, you can check if you can read the README. It should directly pop up, I think. Okay. So this is the README. Okay. So now today we will first work on this file, Gmail MCP server questions, alongside the instructors before we start the following setup. Okay. So now please open this code file by double-clicking it. We don't need Copilot, so we're going to close this. This is large enough for everyone at the back to see? Okay, good. All right, so let's get started. So everything we need here is just one Python code for your server. This is one server that we will create. So the first block, we're going to import a lot of the packages that we need. The first one is MCP. We import fast MCP. This is the SDK provided by the Anthropic for us to quickly build up a server. And then we will also import OpenAI because we want to use their API key. The second block of the libraries are for us to access the email. And then the last one is for us to get access to our environment variables. In order for us to work on this, we will first need to work on our environment variables. So here, you should get 3 things. The first thing is your OpenAI API key. If you have gotten it, just copy paste here. And then your Gmail address. Sorry for the one who doesn't have a Gmail. Okay, and then this password is not your Gmail password. So don't put your Gmail password. It is an application password from this website. So if you, so now please go to this website, myaccount.google.com, app passwords. I'm going to show you guys how to do this. Hold on. So once you're here, I already created an application. So basically here, once you're here, you can just came up with a name, let's say MCP tutorial or MCP test, and then click create. And then there will be a 16-digit string. This is basically the thing that you will copy paste into the app password environment variable.
A question.
Yeah.
So when you go to app passwords, I think all my Gmail account are secured. It says it's not available for your account.
Okay. So then you need to enable the 2-step verification. So it should be at security and sign in. So it should be myaccount.google.com and then security sign in. So here, if you see the 2-step verification, you should first enable it. Once you enable 2-step verification, you scroll down. There is a app password here. There's an arrow. You click into this, and then you can create an application that gives you the 16, the length of 16 string that is the password that you need. Oh, and OpenAI API key, right? Here. So if you go to this website that I put on the .env.example, so basically you can create a new secret key, you give it a name, and then you should be able to get something that starts with SK and then has a length of, it's a really, really long one. It should be longer than the entire page. All right. So then now you should either rename this file to .env or create a new file called .env. And then here should have your information. Okay. So that's my information. Okay. Yeah. So okay, are we ready to move on or any other question? I could just close this.
So is the virtual env and UV setup already set up?
Not yet. We'll walk through that later. Yeah. Okay, so we have set those things up. We don't run this yet. Let's continue to go through this file. So here we load all of our environment variables from the env file, and then we'll populate some of these as our constant. So our email address, our application password. The server that we use to access Gmail is called SMTP. I'm not going to get really deep into that because I personally don't know too much about it. As long as this works. And then OpenAI API key will read from your environment file as well. We are using 4.0 mini. Other models works too. So this is up to you. And then we'll initiate a client. OpenAI API key equals to your API key. Okay. So then the first thing that we do is we create this server, and it's just one line of code. MCP equals to fast MCP, and then its name is Gmail tutorial server. Okay. Here I will go over some helper functions that are not very important, so we'll quickly go through that. So we have a decode header function that basically extracts information of your email's header. And then the second one extracts the text body of the email. And then lastly, this might be a familiar one for many people. This generates a reply using the OpenAI client. And here we basically we have two inputs. The first one is the email body. For demo purposes, we're just reading the email body for now. And then a persona instructions. So this will be your prompt. And the message that you put into the system is that there is a system prompt that is your persona instructions, telling your AI, LLM, that this is how you write emails. What is your preferences? And we're going to go through that later. And then the user prompt will be the email body. And then it returns the responses of the LLM. Okay. Yeah.
Is the email body the email you received?
Yes.
Then it will reply to that email?
Yes, yes. Mm-hmm. So you can think of, for example, I think of an email example. For example, your boss tells you that you need to do a presentation, and then your instruction would be, if I reply message to my boss, I should always say yes. And then and so then that LLM would know that, okay, this is your boss, you need to say yes, and it would draft an email that's yes. Okay. Okay, better examples. Okay, come up with better examples. For example, if you're a sales or in a client-facing positions, then sometimes your emails would be asking questions about certain information or certain market informations. Then your prompt would know that, oh, this is how you reply to your clients. You start with this information, that information, and at the end, for example, please feel free to schedule a call with me using this link. Yeah, something like that. All you need to do is just think about what are the emails that you need to reply, but you don't want to reply by yourself, and you want an agent to reply to your email. So that is the part. Okay, so this is my example. As you can see, I am an outdoor person, and Yiwen is not. So this email is something that I write for her. So first of all, you have a decorator that's mcp.prompt. This decorator tells your AI that this is a prompt that it can read, and the name and description of this prompt. So then AI will know when to call this prompt. So the name here is email agent persona. So let's say if I ask my LLM to use this, then the LLM will know that, okay, that is the prompt that I need to use to write an email. The description here is that it returns a short persona prompt for an email agent who loves food and dislikes exercise. Okay, so here, let's finish this prompt. So basically, this entire function just returns a string. This is the entire, oops. This is the entire function. Okay, let's finish this. Okay, so basically you need to finish this prompt. Fill in the question marks. Okay, let's do this together. Okay, so the first line is you are email agent. And then you love food and dislikes exercise. Wait, hold on. You love food and hanging out over meals, and you dislikes exercise. Okay, then here we have two instructions that are more specific. The first one would be if the email invites you to lunch or food, respond with an enthusiastic yes. And if it invites you to run, workout, or exercise, respond with a no and suggest grabbing food instead. Yes. And then lastly, maybe we don't make this too aggressive. So we would say always keep your reply friendly, short, and in plain text. Okay, so this is the prompt. Okay, this is the prompt that I'm going to put in my server. And once we're done with this, we'll test if this works. Okay. All right, so once we're done with the prompt, let's move into the most important things, which are tools. So here's the first tool that we will have, which is reading the email. So we're gonna fill in the name of the tool, the description of the tool. Again, the things in the decorator are the things that your LM will read before it decides if it call this tool or not. So okay, so the name of, actually, if you don't put a name, let's say if you just mcp.tool decorates this function, your LM is just gonna read the name of the function, which is read unread emails. So you can totally just use that. And then description, if you don't put a description in your decorator, then it's just gonna read the docstream here. So for simplicity, these two things can be the same, but in reality, maybe you want to put certain things into your decorator for the LM to read, but then in your function, you want to put something else for your developers to read. So that would be a use case when you don't have the same thing. So for that, for simplicity, we'll just do the same. So the name should be read unread email. And description, let's just say read unread emails from Gmail inbox, return a list of the following things.
ask a question?
Yeah.
Like, why would you have a different description in the tool versus the doc string? Like, is there, like, just based on your experience, like,
Oh, so my understanding is one is read by the LLM and the other one is just in the doc stream. And if you have a description in the decorator, LLM will ignore the one in your doc stream. Yeah.
But is there, like, do you have any suggestions for, like, reasons you might do that, like formatting or like?
I think maybe just description should be LM friendly enough for LM to decide if it needs to call this tool. I think maybe some other things would be more useful, like you can put tags on the decorator. So for example, tags about versions of a certain tool. So these kind of things might be useful for LM, yeah.
When the LLM's deciding which tool to call,
Mm-hmm.
does it have access to the actual definition of the function or just the decorator and the doc string?
If you put it in your decorator, it will read decorator. If it does not, then it would read the doc string.
But does it ever read the function, like the code itself, and try to understand?
I don't think
doing?
so.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
It called the function and the
No, it
function, it
doesn't.
ran the function.
It doesn't read the entire function. Yeah.
So currently the name in that tool is different than the method name. There's no S at the end.
Oh, okay.
So is it adding a key to some kind of dictionary so it knows exactly?
I think it just infer from it. Okay, let's put an S. Yeah. Nice.
Let's remove it.
Yeah, agree.
Like, what would happen if we remove it? Would they matter?
I don't think it will matter.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's not the
Y-
key.
Yeah, it's not a key. Yeah. Let's say if you have several server or you have one server that has many tools that has the same name, maybe that won't work. You have to try. Yeah. Okay.
There is a question.
So when it calls these, is it run on my laptop server or where is the code being executed?
We will cover that later. Yeah. We'll run them. Yeah, everyone will read their Gmail from your MCP inspector, not by yourself for the first time. Okay.
And also just to add on to your question, so so pretty much if you have an agent as a client, right? So pretty much agent will produce this part. It invoke the function. It won't read the code, but so it has to be able to whatever the agent produce. Let's call it the message envelope. Later I can touch on that. It has to match this two signature. This is just two signature. The format, the structure has to be aligned so then they can talk.
Yep. That. Okay, so one more question mark here. So this one should return a dictionary that says unread emails, and then this one should be results. All right. All right. Okay, so we have two more tools. The first one is write reply. So let's finish this. Okay. So for simplicity, we're just doing the same. But for your own use case, maybe you will write something else, or you check the documentation and add some more parameter into your decorator. So for this one, email body should be original email body. Okay. And then persona instruction, yeah.
Could we use the subject of the email here too? Is there any reason why we're not?
We could. Oops.
We might get an email saying lunch today, and then the body might say, maybe we should meet in the lobby at 10.
Okay. Yeah.
So we're only using the body.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That I agree. Maybe we can later on we can add that and see. Yeah. Okay. So then persona instruction should be the prompt. And then at the end, we return the reply text. Okay. All right, so another tool is done. We have one final tool. So the final tool is to send the email. So the name should be send email, and then description is borrow the doc stream or send an email via Gmail as MTP using two address, subject, and body. Here for from, it's the email address that you have put in as constant at the beginning. To will be just the input to. Subject is, where is the subject? Oh, subject is subject. And then the content is the body then. All right. Okay, so our tools are done. Now, the entry point that we're using here is the standard I/O. Okay. All right, let's do the other part. Go back to README. So we're gonna use UV to manage this because UV is very convenient to create a virtual environment, and we can see how quick it downloads the packages. So the first thing that you need to do is to install UV using this. Okay. Okay. Oh, you just copy paste to here. So it says installing to home, UV, UVX, everything is installed. Anyone have problem with this?
For Windows, they're having trouble.
Yeah.
And they're figuring it out, but there might be other Windows users.
I think so.
That command doesn't, but UV does.
All right. So if this part is successful, just follow along. Next is UV init. Once that is done, then it's UV virtual environment. Use the font on your computer. I actually don't know what this means, but I'm allowing it anyways. Okay, now activate your virtual environment using source. Okay, so once you activated it, it shows that you're in this PyData Boston virtual environment. Okay. Now it's the time to install the dependencies. So basically we need MCP and OpenAI. Oops. Why is this happening a lot? I have not moved. Okay. So UV add for me, coming from a Python background, this is like a pip install, but much faster.
Way faster.
Any Rust fans here?
I think UV is when I started to realize how much of a Rust fan I was.
Yeah, look at this.
Fast.
So fast, yeah. Amazing. If you're doing this with pip install, you know how slow it could be. So Rust is amazing. I know nothing about it though. I just went to my first Rust event last week. So, okay. Okay, once we added the dependencies, we already did this already. Remember here at the env file. So we have that. We have that, yes. Now we can run the MCP server. So if you are at GitHub Codespace, this is the link that you need. But before you do this, you need to replace your Codespace URL with that thing. So here, everyone has a different Codespace name. Mine is humble space lamp, and then a long string after that. So you have to copy paste that into from your code space all the way to a URL. Okay. Let me show you. So humble space all the way to this. Wait, did I miss 1.5? Okay, I missed a 5.
Or UV
So there still should be a hyphen before the 6274.
Yes. Okay. So you should keep the hyphen 6274. That is the port number of the inspector. Oops. Okay, so for example, my command should be allowed origins equals to https / humble space lamp, this entire string all the way to 55, and then hyphen 6274 app github.dev npx decorator add model context protocol inspector uv run gmail mcp server questions.py. Okay, so
Question.
yeah.
So does this, so the code space, the GitHub code space has the Node.js JavaScript thing already installed by default? Like you run an npx?
What was that question from?
Like,
Trying to understand.
This is a container, right? This
Uh-huh.
is a
Yeah. Uh-huh.
terminal.
Yeah.
So it has npx or npx installed by default.
Uh-huh.
So,
Yes. Yes.
Like if you need a different package, you might need to upgrade it to a different npx.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, so it asked me Need to install the following package. Okay to proceed, yes. So Y, and then enter. Okay, starting an MCP inspector, session token, a long token, we'll need this later. MCP inspector is up and running at a local host 6274. So the local host here is like not really local to your computer, but local to this code space. Okay, so two more things that we need to do. Please follow. So first, we need to change both ports to public so that the inspector can read. So you come to ports, and then right-click the visibility, private, and change it to public. It's ports. Next to the terminal, there's a port. And then make these both public. All right. Now we are opening the link of the 6274, which is the inspector's UI. So move your mouse to this. There's an open in browser, so we open this one, the 6274. You are about to access development port by someone's code space. Yes.
This is only for code space, not for VS Code, right?
That not for VS Code. VS Code, it would pop up directly.
Worked, yeah.
Okay, yeah. VS Code, you don't need to add the allowed origin thing. You can just directly, you can just directly run the MPX part. Any question?
I have not found NPX. It says not found. This command.
Oh, you have to install it.
If you're not a web developer, it's probably
I think you just
Okay, so then you should be opening an inspector that looks like this, and we want to connect to our server. Okay, so here, if you are coming from code space, here are some parameters that you need to put in. So first, change the command to UV. And then arguments should be run the Gmail MCP server questions.py. Before we connect, two more things. One thing is the inspector proxy address, and the other one is the proxy session token. Remember the token that we just created from the terminal? So this is the session token. If you're on local, this should automatically popped up already. But here on CodeSpace, we need to copy paste. Okay, finally, inspector proxy address. So inspector proxy address looks like this. HTTPS, your CodeSpace URL, and then 6277. So remember we have two ports. One is the inspector UI, and the other one is the proxy address of the inspector. Okay. So we need this, but there should not be a slash at the end. And if you are on your local, you don't need this.
I'm trying to run locally, so I ran MCUV run something. Not to print out what I expected it to print out, but I don't know if I missed.
I missed a 5.
In MCP inspector,
Okay.
I don't know what that is, so I might have missed
Then
something up here.
there was actually just a fast MCP comment.
Comment in the code.
No, actually.
Okay, so you just go over everything here. Command is UV, argument is run MCP server questions.py. Inspector proxy address is HTTPS, your URL, -6277 app.github.dev. And then the proxy session token is from your terminal.
No. Do you want to be I can add you.
Okay, and then connect.
Excuse me.
Yes, it works. Okay.
Could you conceptually explain, like, there are two servers running, two ports, so this
Yeah.
is inspector's server, but yours Gmail thing is also a server?
Yes. I think of it as one is the inspector's proxy server.
This comment.
So this is 6277. And then the one that you're allowed is 6274, which is the server that you're running.
So you actually open both ports, right? You make
Yeah, I made both port public so that one can read another. Yeah. All right. So now, in the interest of time, let's find our prompt. So if you come up here, so here up there are all the things that you expose to your MCP. So let's say prompt, come to prompt, list prompt. You should be able to see your persona. Okay. Can anyone list the prompt successfully? Oh, some people. Okay. Yeah. Unfortunately, there's some. It's a little bit hard to configure that. But let's say if you are able to get here, you'll be able to see that. If you list the prompt, you will see that there is an email agent persona here, and then if you get the prompt, it will show you this. So we're gonna copy this for our use later. Okay, let's take a look at the tools. So now if you list your tools, and the first will be get unread emails. So let's say if you scroll down here and run the tool, there you go, you will read your emails. So these are my emails. PyData Global, wait, PyData Global 2024. It should be 2025. Okay, so PyData Global is happening at the same time. So there's only one conference that you can go to. And then I got, I got a Google email, and then I have a Airbnb email. Okay, that's great. Okay, so that's good. The second one is writing a reply. So for example, here, I can paste my persona into here. Let's say, anyone local Boston? What's your favorite restaurant? Q. Okay. Let's go lunch at Q. So if I run this, It's gonna say, yes, that sounds amazing. Can't wait to eat at Q. Okay. Is that an actual restaurant? Oh, okay. Because I was trying to find restaurant last night and it wasn't successful. Okay. And then if I try, let's go run along the Charles River. And rerun this tool. It's gonna say, thanks for the invite. I'm gonna pass on running. How about we grab some food instead? Okay. All right. And then finally send an email. If you have time, you can try this. It's okay. Okay, and so now Yiwen will send me an email about going for a run along the Charles River and see how it goes. So in the interest of time, I'm going to quickly show you how this works in Claude Desktop. So if you have time at home, you can configure this into your Claude Desktop. So Claude Desktop is the client. And here, for example, I already connected it to my Claude Desktop. It has read and read emails, write a reply, and send an email. So now I just need Yiwen to send me an email as an invite to a run. Okay, so now it calls my read and read email tools. So that is successful. It says Lucy Liu invited me to go for a run. Now let's write a reply using my email persona. It wrote a reply and sent it back. Says, thanks for the invite, but I will have to pass on running. How about grab some food instead? And then the email is already sent. Did you get the email?
Yep.
Okay, so this is successful. Okay, my part is done. Now let's pass on to her demo.
Okay, so we don't have much time. I would just go through it. You guys don't need to follow.
Oh,
We only have-
they still have to follow.
So, no, I mean, like, you don't need to like code what I need to code. Yeah.
Okay.
So you can just watch it through. Yes, originally I wanted to show you guys the client side. I wanted to show you using an SDK, a Google ADK to build an agent, right? Let the agent to connect with your tools, but just right before the conference, I got a message that I ran out of the token. So I temporarily switched to something else. Hopefully it's fun. But okay, let's quickly talk about the MCP transport layer. So let's get a little bit like technical details about MCP. So MCP communication, all the MCP communication uses the protocol called JSON RPC 2.0, right? So someone is familiar with it. It's a long name. RPC stands for Remote Procedure Call. So just if I describe it with very formal, like professional language, pretty much is your message gonna be encoded in the JSON format, and then the message gonna be wrapped with an envelope that's compliant with JSON RPC 2.0. So all the envelope is JSON RPC 2.0 object, and then it's sent between client and server. But it's just too much, right? You just need to understand JSON RPC is the backbone of this type of communication. It's the backbone of the client and server transmitting response, request, or notification between each other. It's a format that needs to follow. Okay, so I talked about all the communication, all the messages, right, follow that protocol, that JSON RPC format. But how you move the message could include different ways. One is the standing and stand out method. So actually that was close to what Chuxin showed you, right? So if you remember, so the inspector, I took the screenshot earlier. It's standing, stand out, okay? So that's for more like a local communication, right? It's supported actually by your operating system. That's the standing, stand out stream nature. This is when you have the server and client in the same machine, right? So it's communicating locally, so that's why it's fast. When you host everything together, somebody even trade the MCP server as probably even a sub-process of your client. For example, if your client is the agent. So people use that more for like practice or demo purpose, right? But it's when they come to probably more use cases, right? So your server and your agent probably are not hosted at the same place, right? So this is so that's why there's another one that is the HTTP communication mechanism. So this is for remote communication, right? Think about in the future, let's say that eBay, right? eBay has an agent that they want to talk to USPS MCP to track users' shipping status, right? So that's two different companies, right? They definitely won't have their agent and the server host at the same place. So this is when this kind of protocol come to place, right? It follows the HTTP communication. Pretty much you have the server, make the API call, and sometimes you can choose to have the server send the SSE method as an option to constantly having your server send a notification or messages to your client side. So you need some, so you need a public endpoint, more networking setup. So it's adding a little bit more steps, yes.
So when the cloud desktop was the client, was it sending it over HTTP or?
No, it was stand out, right? So that's what she was showing on the.
So it's not talking to the code space or the GitHub thing?
What she was showing earlier was on her screen, that was local communication.
Okay.
Yeah, on the screen it's STDIO.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's mainly how the inspector is pretty much checking your local communication. Okay, so so I have the similar server that I coded.
You're frustrated. I mean,
It's also the Gmail one. You don't really, because we have slightly different code. I just quickly show you. So it has the similar concept, but I just need two tools, read and send, because my client side is the agent. The prompt is going to be there, and it can construct the email body using the LM, using the LM intelligence that's within the agent. So I just need two tools, just to read the email and read email and then send the email. Okay, so in order to do this, in order to, let's say, set up the endpoint, make it public, there are several things that needs to be done. So, okay, we can go to the tutorial. Okay, firstly, I will run this comment. So this is something I can later show probably send it out in the Slack, or I can post my notebook into the GitHub. So pretty much this is a fast MCP, because my server is built by MCP, fast MCP package. This is what she was showing earlier. And pretty much I run this, can you see it? Okay. I run this file, and then what I'm gonna do is to use this comment to launch the MCP server, my Gmail MCP server, and to tell the server to use the HTTP as a communication protocol, right? And I'm using the port 8,000, and then so I launch it. Okay, so now it's launched. So now my tools are exposed through the MCP interface, and it's accessible through this localhost endpoint. Okay, but is that enough? Is that enough? It's a localhost endpoint. Whoops, I scrolled down to the answer. It's not enough. So like I mentioned, that you need to make this URL. So right now it's localhost, right? You need to make a public endpoint. So then the other client on the internet can connect to this endpoint. So what I'm using is a tool called, or a platform called ngrok. So it helps you to put your APIs online. So this is a very simple way to do it. So you don't need to worry about, oh, what's your machine IP, and then you know, conquer some challenging in your firewall or something to make the API public. So you just use this one. So this is a very good option. I was hoping that if we have time, you guys can follow this, but it's okay. All you need to do is just a sign up account. I already signed up the account. And I'm using WSL. So this is how you can set up the ngrok. You can install it, just following instruction, and then it will give you a token. So you just need to add it in, the token, and then you can use this comment to make your API online. So I already did this offline. So I already set up, I give the token, I set up the tool, I installed in the apt, in my Ubuntu, so the tool is already set up. So what I just need to do is to open another terminal. I run the ngrok HTTP, just like the instruction, right? The third line of the command it's just running this. You just need to make sure this is aligned with your port number. The port number is 8000, right? So I launch it. Okay, now it is, my API is online. So you can see the comments, the log, the messages here, right? It's creating a temporary but public accessible URL here. It's not your local host. Pretty much it's getting the traffic from your public URL and transport to your local URL, and then so then you know that the other agent or client can still talk to this public URL and transport the traffic to your local URL, and then still use your local servers tool. So, okay, we have this public URL. I can do something very quick. I can create an agent that's using this tool. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is to use an open source package called A2A base. It's very straightforward. You can find the repo by just searching A2A base, AI, SDK. So this is open source SDK. It has some Python examples, and it's you know, offline. You can do the pip install, and then you go to the link and get your base AI API key, and you can get like $3 credit. So you can you can create agent on this platform for free. Okay, 5 minutes left. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So I already created the API key, and so I can show you the code. So how can I drag it down? Sorry, I cannot drag it down. So the code is very straightforward. You just put in your base AI API key and have the URL here. So the website has a lot of instruction. And so here you go, the MCP tools are can be accessed to this endpoint, right? And then I give a name, initialize the tools, and then put a tool into the agent and then create an agent. That's it. Your server side is, your client side is done. You create an agent that can interact with this URL. So you can continue to use the SDK to run, but what I want to show you is once I create this agent, it's actually available on the UI. I think the UI is better for the demo purpose, right? I create this agent called MCP ngrok agent demo. I already ran it earlier. so we don't need to waste time to wait. So now I come to this UI. So once you run the SDK, you create the agent, right? So it's available here. And what you can see is, okay. Firstly, I have my MCP, my Gmail MCP server set up, right? You go to the content, you can see two tools, right? That's exactly the two tools that I was setting up. And now it's available. But, okay. And the reason why I want to show you with this platform is I create an agent, but the agent is actually hosted on a distributed infrastructure. It's not hosted on my machine. And plus, when the agent runs, it's spinning up a sandbox. So your agent is running within an isolated environment. So definitely it won't be able to get to your local host URL, but it's able to talk to your public URL. You saw that, right? Okay, and then I can chat. 2 minutes, okay. Check my unread email. Okay, so now, so MCP server read and read email. That's exactly the name I give to the tool, and it's executing the tool. Why it's taking time? Try another one.
Yeah. You have 2,000 unread emails.
So this is earlier what I sent is send a greeting email. So this is an earlier test. I just send an email to myself. So because this agent is connected with LLM, it is able to figure out, okay, what's the proper subject and the content. So it sent the email to myself. So it is here, warm greeting. So this is generated by my client by connecting the two. Okay. So let's see whether this is still working.
It's going to be great when we don't have to do our emails. Just have AI automated. Right? Saves so much time.
Yeah, so my internet is.
My wife writes me an email.
Wife
The
is
AI's going to answer. I'm not going to answer it.
Does anyone get good Wi-Fi? Why?
You can go on AI dates, they can talk to each other. 5 years later,
You have Wi-Fi?
No, just when
Does it work for text messages?
I think we can build one to do that as well.
That's where the money's at.
It must be intermittent, number of people.
It's slow. I don't know. Check
Or something that you both did at the same time.
read email.
other side of the building, you can actually get to MIT.
The MIT network.
That doesn't work here.
What's that?
No, if you're on the other side of the building, you can get.
While we are waiting, I just show you that you
network?
can.
But it's here.
No, they're all just bots talking. Yeah, bots talking to bots.
You can also get your API key here. Very.
Oh, no, there's not any of that.
You can create API key, and it will connect you to a lot of different large language models.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of like bots talking. And the incentive is.
Yeah. So I will let let it run a little bit. Let's come back to the slide.
They're showing you an ad card that shows how many million people are, but it's all just porn sites that are reading your email.
I mean, I knew that was like, I mean, that back in the day when 2000s.
Yep, that's the
Oh,
tutorial.
we're two minutes over. Sorry.
Okay, bring your computers. I want to help whoever didn't get through.